Hello, welcome to NOLA Stamping. I'm Barb Baldwin, and today we're going to be making a fun card using the Stamp of the Month for January and the paper collection called Let's Party. So it's the first collection in the new catalog, and it's got a ton of super bright colors. It's really aimed at birthday stuff, but I just kind of wanted to show you a little sort of twist on it. But I also wanted to show you the new papers. They're really bright and colorful, like very cheerful, which is perfect for, you know, the blah days of winter. But it's the new year, so the card that we're going to be making is like a celebration of new beginnings. So like be perfect for somebody who's got a new job, a new house, a new beginning of some sort. Just like an encouragement sort of card. So what's kind of cool about the Stamp of the Month is this month it's got like a die cut, like a thin cut add-on. And the thin cuts are really pretty cool, I think, and would be a great addition to anybody's collection. It's a little bit extra. It's like an additional fee for the thin cuts. And of course you need to have a die cutting machine. So for this card, we're using one of the scalloped circles, a notepad with the paper, and 2 arrows. So if you don't have those, you can substitute something that's pretty close, like it doesn't depend on it. So for this card, it really uses minimal supplies, which is awesome. I made so many intricate Christmas cards and holiday cards recently that it's kind of nice to go back to basics. So we're going to need just a A2 card base, a piece of candy apple that's a 1/4 inch smaller, and the yays, so you'll just want one that's another 1/4 inch smaller. So the candy apple will be 4 by 5 1/4, and the yays will be 3 3/4 by 5 inches. It does use 3 inks, so I'm using a red, a light blue, and a gray color. So that's candy apple, periwinkle, and charcoal if you're using close to my heart colors. So I am loving the little arrow. It's just like a little curly Q sort of arrow. So I'm going to use candy apple red to stamp that. And I'm using like a little 1.5 inch by 1 inch block. And then I really wanted to use one of these new die cuts on the card, and so I found another stamp set that would work with it, but it didn't fit on the card, and sometimes, you know, you want something to work perfectly, and I did all this effort, I stamped it, I did some extra stuff, and it didn't work out. So it's better to just edit things off than make it look too busy sometimes, I think. But these new die cuts are pretty neat. I really like how they're pre-done, and the stamp set just fits perfectly with them. So we're just going to stamp periwinkle, so the lined note paper looks like note paper from like when you were in school and stuff. So then it'll look like a loose leaf paper, like a smaller piece. But so that's the only thing that we're using the periwinkle, the light blue color for. And then I'm going to pull out the charcoal because the scalloped circle, I cut that out of Sundance paper. So it's like it'll match the yellow in the yays. But the charcoal is just like a little lighter, so it kind of softens up the look a little bit more. So it kind of matches that periwinkle color. Okay, so since it's note paper, you can either write on it or you can stamp. And since there's a couple of nice stamps, that's what I decided to do. I'm using the looking forward to, and then I'm doing, I call it stamp surgery. Like sometimes you get a stamp and it's like all the way across, but you don't want to use it all the way across. You can mask like with Post-its, but I felt that it's just as easy to cut up the stamp set, and when you wanna like use it as a long thing back again, like it lines up perfectly, just like a crossword puzzle or something. So I lined up the 3 little stamps on that that paper, put it on my block, and then I'm stamping it in candy apple again. So I'm just going to do a quick little technique. So I'm taking my 5" by 6" the big block, and then I'm taking like my nail file, and I'm just making sure the paper is on the very edge of the block, and then I'm just sanding the edge of it a little bit. And that's just going to give the yay paper a little bit of sort of distressing. And you can move it up and down the block, and that'll give it like a nice hard edge. I like it because it just sort of pops it up a little bit. You do have to be careful that you don't sand the edges of your block, but I have to say that it is a great way to like add that sort of distressed edges of for the paper. And this will make it pop out from that candy apple cardstock a little bit more. So let's put everything together. So I'm going to grab a piece of the A2 card base, and I'm just folding that inside out so that I have a nice crisp fold to the card. And then I'm going to take a tape runner, and I'm going to attach the yay to the candy apple, and then the candy apple to the card front. And this is the point at which I realized that I forgot to put the interior sentiment. And, you know, I just got this stamp set in, and I was like, I want to use all of the stamps. So I'm grabbing the stamp that says Beautiful New Beginnings. There's another one that says The Magic of New Beginnings, and I was like, either one of those would work pretty good. And I am going to tempt fate and stamp it on the inside of the card. I typically try to stamp the interior sentiments before I add anything onto the card, just because if like there's like some ink transfer or something like that, then I can always like start over with the card base. You know, they're not very expensive, so, or I can flip the card inside out and then use that card, you know, the other side of the card base. But luckily it all worked out just fine. So now we're going to just assemble the rest of the card and embellish it. For that scalloped circle that we stamped with charcoal ink, I'm just grabbing my white opaque jelly pen, and I'm just going to fill in those wings, and then just add a little dot into the little scallops. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and do some fun highlighting on the letters. I'm just drawing, because the letters are kind of thick, so I thought it'd add just like a nice little fun touch. And I'm just gonna set that aside to dry for a second, and then we're gonna put the rest of the card together. I kind of lined up where I want everything in the card. And so now I'm just going to attach it with the adhesives. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough space for everything. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tape runner, and I'm going to do this little trick where I don't push down the tape runner, the tape or adhesive, until I have the scalloped circle kind of in place, just to make sure that way, like, I can slide it around and I get it into the perfect spot. So I'm going to use some 3D foam dots left over from Shaker Pack. And then I'm just going to line up that scallop where I want it, and then just sort of nudge that paper down to where it needs to go, so that you can still see the yay at the top and the line of yays at the bottom. And then I'm just pushing down on the little paper and the 3D foam dots to make sure that all the adhesive sticks. And then I am going to use the backing from the Shaker Pack, and I'm going to put some tape runner on the back of one of the arrows so it'll be flat on the card front. And I got a little bit of extra gunk on there, so I just used my paper crafting tool to pull that off. And I'm just having it point to the line of yays at the bottom. And then I really liked how it looked all popped up with the the scallop. So I thought that I would do that for the little arrow. So I'm just grabbing one more 3D foam dot, cutting it in half, and then using that on the top and the bottom, and then trimming off the sides in order to get it so, just because I'm a perfectionist and I want it to look nice. I mean, you've spent all the time on the card, might as well have it look nice and clean. So I'm just going to pop that at the top of the page and have it point to the best is yet to come. And so now it's just embellishments. I love the little enamel dots, and they come in colors. I am just about out of the Sundance yellow color, and I wanted to use like a bunch of bright colors on the enamel dots. I'm kind of covering up the bullets on the list, and then I'm going to add some enamel dots on the scallop, just kind of for fun. And I'm doing that usual thing that I do where I'm trying to do it in a set of three in a triangle sort of fashion. And then I give up on that because I was like, oh, I want to cover up the bullets. And then I was like, oh, I still want two of each color. So it all works out. I think it looks really cheerful. I really like how this card came together. I think it'll be a great and cheerful thing to be able to send to somebody. I hope it's inspired you to make your own. And don't forget to stay crafty.